Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about the new GloWish Huda blushes. These were definitely highly anticipated, especially because I adore the GloWish bronzer. So if you haven't seen my video for this bronzer, make sure to check it out. It is incredible, incredible formulation. It's lightweight, it's creamy, but it's not fully a cream. It's also not a powder. It's skin-like. It's one of the best bronzers out there, and it's definitely my bronzer of the year. Now, I was expecting the same formulation for these blushes, and sadly, why? They're not the same. These are nice blushes, but they are powder blushes. They are in no way similar to the bronzer. Not at all. Which is really sad because they're actually marketed a very similar way. The packaging looks almost the same, so it makes you think that it should be the exact same formulation. Essentially, the blushes are just your standard powder blushes. There's definitely nothing wrong with that, but if you were like me, you love the bronzer and that's what you were expecting, it's not it. So let's just get into the swatches first, and I'll talk about a little bit more detail after the swatches. I'll start off with the shade Healthy Peach, which is 01. I, in fact, didn't have much hope for this shade because it just looks super light in the pan. It also swatched a little bit chalky on my arm. However, on the cheek, it looks beautiful. I'm gonna pick up the Spectrum Katie Hughes collaboration brush set, and this is a specific brush 01, and build this shade on my cheek. So I actually really like this shade. It looked very light, it swatched very chalky, but on my cheeks, it looks beautiful. So you're starting to see some color right here. Of course, I'm gonna build it up. So that some of that color is starting to come through. So it's like a very nude blush. I think if you are deeper than me, this is not going to work for you. But if you're my skin tone and lighter, I think this is going to look really beautiful. Healthy Peach. Next up is the shade Caring Coral, which I'm going to apply on this side. I'm going to use the same brush. Sorry guys, I can't help but stare at my eye look today. I'm really loving it. This is the Charlotte Tilbury, where is it? The Charlotte Tilbury Holiday Palette. I have a video coming on this, so I've filmed a tutorial for this look, so hang tight. Sorry, tangent. Let's go back to the blush. I found that a nice fluffy brush actually works the best with this formulation. You can use something lightweight as well, but if you've got something that is a little bit fluffy that you can use kind of in circular motions, I find that this blush applies really evenly and it looks beautiful. So next up, I'm gonna go with Caring Coral. I'm gonna pop this right here. So Caring Coral is definitely a brighter sister of the peach shade. I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit more. What I love about these blushes is that they are very lightweight, and I really enjoy that. It's almost like they let that skin underneath kind of show through. You don't really see blush sitting on top of your skin. And I love the look of that. So once I got over the fact that, yes, this is not the same as the bronzer, then I really enjoyed these blushes. So interesting thing with Caring Coral is that it actually just looks pink on me. Like, I don't see this as coral. I definitely see this as pink. Well, at least that's how it translates on my skin tone. So this is the shade Caring Coral, which definitely leans pink on me instead of peachy coral. And this is the shade Healthy Peach. I personally just prefer Healthy Peach over the Caring Coral. Next up, I have the shade Berry Juicy. And I'm just going to apply that. It definitely has a slight purple undertone. And I'm just going to That's quite pretty. It does lean a little bit cool tone. So this is the shade Berry Juicy. It's almost like a mauve tone berry. Next up, I'm going to go with Charming Cherry. I swear to God, I'm never going to remember these names. This one is quite vibrant, as you saw that. This is probably the most pigmented one out of the bunch. This is a number 4 after all. So they do go, in terms of depth, they do go 1, 2, 3, 4, with this one being the most pigmented. So this is the shade, what is it called? Charming Cherry. Very similar to this shade right here. Again, on my skin tone, there isn't a lot of difference. The one thing I notice is that this is a little bit more muted, a little bit more cool tone, where this one isn't. All right, you guys, so we have Berry Juicy. No, we have Berry Juicy and Charming Cherry. So here's the thing, there's pros and cons with this formula. The claim behind these blushes is that they're supposed to last 12 hours on you. Now, I've been trying them for many days now, and I've been wearing them the entire day. I will say they will start to fade at the 6-7 hour mark. Also depends on how much you apply. The more you apply, the less fading you get. But they do most definitely fade, at least on my combo skin, in that 6-7 hour mark. They will still be there by the end of the day. So by 8 hours, I will still see color on my cheeks, although it's most definitely faded. I don't think they last 12 hours, so I don't think these quite meet that claim, unless of course you do a heavy application, then I can imagine these lasting 12 hours. I have worn them under a mask and they actually performed quite well under a mask. So I do like the longevity. I didn't experience that amazing 12-hour wear, but still I think they lasted quite well. These are also, I found, best applied just like a powder blush. I wouldn't apply them with fingers or with any sort of duo fiber brushes, because that can give a bit of an uneven application. Something like this is great with these, or of course you know that I use this one, and if you have the Wayne Goss brush number 14, which I normally use for powder brushes, this applied beautifully as well. So I would just treat them like a standard powder blush when it comes to application. They also slightly mattify the skin. What I really enjoyed about these is that they have a very lightweight texture. That's quite similar to the bronzer, not in terms of creaminess, but in terms of just being very lightweight. I did kind of enjoy that. They also go in order of intensity, with the lightest being shade 1, which is Healthy Peach, and the deepest and more saturated color being Charming Cherry, which is number 4. My two favorite shades from this shade is Healthy Peach and Charming Cherry. Those are the two that I particularly enjoy. Color selection is rather disappointing. They are all pink. Apart from that first peach shade, everything else just looks pink on me. So I don't really see the point in picking up multiple shades because everything is pink. And I wish the brand had done that. I wish they had included different shades rather than just 3 shades that all just look pink. Overall, I think these are actually really nice powder blushes. They cannot compete with the bronzer because the bronzer is phenomenal and they do not have the exact same formulation. The application for the bronzer is incredibly beautiful and these are nothing alike. However, once I got over that hump, I did enjoy wearing these. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I've had a few people reach out to me. You really wanted to know what these products were like. So I've tried my best to get this video out quickly while also making sure that I thoroughly tested these products, because last thing I want is to give you guys a first impression. Thank you so much for watching. See ya.